What's going on, guys? I told myself I wasn't going to make this video, but I've had enough people ask. So this is just going to be me explaining kind of what you want to prep to have Helhest ready to go when she drops on Thursday. So that's 2 days for my NA players. So we're just going to break it down real quick. Things you want, just like bare minimums. To get started, you're going to want to have a decent stockpile of mythic weapon engrams. Reason I say that is I personally believe that the Queen Breakers or Royal Contravene is going to be her best in slot for DPS. I know that we're probably going to get an exotic for her in the Battle Pass, but I still think Royal Contravene is going to be the best thing to run on her. And with that said, that means we're probably going to have a mythic bow released into the pool. So having mythic engrams stockpiled to be able to decrypt for the bow when it drops will be beneficial, so that way you can have a bow in the primary slot. Next thing you're going to want to make sure you have a good amount of is fruits. In order to take her weapon mastery 5, you're going to need a minimum of 45 fruits. Now you're going to need more depending on gilding, but I'm just talking character abilities, weapon mastery, traits, okay? So for your traits and weapon mastery, you're going to need 45 fruits. If you want to be able to max out for her relic abilities with the sheafs, it's not showing me my universal ones, but you want 122 elemental sheafs. So that's could be universal, it could be arc ones specifically, but you're going to want those sheafs. You're also going to need, and I know this is a touchy subject, you're going to need 18 incandescence clusters if you want to fully max her 18 out of 18, max her relic traits, and max her weapon mastery. So those are kind of your key resources you're going to want for her. Like I said, I'm personally going to be using Royal Contravene on her, and then Mythic Bow. If they don't release a Mythic Bow with her right away, which I think would be silly, but if they don't, I'm assuming the Battle Pass weapon will be an exotic bow, so I'll use that, and then I'll just use a legendary, and we can kind of go over what I think if you are going to run the Battle Pass weapon with her. The legend or the mythic linear you're going to want to run is, if I can find it, I can't, it's right here. End of the line. It's arc, so it'll match her. And then this is the role you're going to want to look for: Fraternity, Scenery Mark. But like I said, I very much plan to run a Royal Contravene, so obviously, you're going to need your resources for that. Slowly been plugging away at it, but we're gated by a lot of things, so you can only really hard focus one exotic at a time. But you're going to want to have those fruits. Here's the thing, like, the weapons are super important. You don't need to get her at 70k right away. My goal is just to try to get her to gold medal viability right away, and I'm pretty close, I think, to being able to do that. The other thing is going to be artifacts, and I'll just briefly show what I plan to run on her on launch, because we know she's got summons. We don't know if her summons are going to be, like a Stella summon. She is a support character. So I'll be running my general Ring of Abundance with Ring of Conversion, just to kind of keep her topped up. And then I'm going to put Inverted Fury, and then this one, ignore that, Bellicose Planetesimal, just to buff her overall weapon damage to start. And then obviously if the summons are, a big deal, or if she's frequently summoning them, like if she's frequently summoning them but they don't do damage, Rampaging Pact would be the way to go, just because of the higher damage boost. If her summons are doing damage, she's going to kind of be built like a Stella, so you'll be looking at Bellicose Pact, and what's the other one? Resonating or Responsive Pact. And then obviously that would then change what we can run in slots 1 and 2, but I'm just kind of going over what I plan to run on her to start, so it'll kind of be like this. We'll be going Abundance, Conversion, Inverted Fury, Bellicose, just to kind of lean into weapon damage. That way, no matter what weapon damage, you can never go wrong with, because you just make their guns do more damage. But obviously, I plan to release a full guide and breakdown on her once she's in the game, but this is just me kind of trying to help people get ahead of things. Best way to get the sheafs is Shifting Gates. you buy the universal ones from the exchange. Same goes for fruits. That way you can have universal fruits. But if you're like me, you've been farming a lot of chaos, so you're probably pretty good on fruits. And then, you know, you'll have your artifactual clusters and all that from Expanse. The other thing that's worth doing if you've got the keys to run your masters or your grandmasters, do them on strikes and hope that you get some precision strike mods, not rapid fire. Obviously, that's RNG is gonna RNG, but that's what I would do to prep for her and just kind of be ready for her launch. So hopefully this helps some of you guys get some last minute preparations in. If it does, drop a like, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know what you want me to really focus on her build guide. And thanks for checking out the video. I appreciate every single one of you.